Merry meet everyone. So we are going to talk about some gods and goddesses today. So first I'm going to do the rune of the month for March, since the next video will be about the new moon. So the rune of the month of March is Athila, but it's actually Athala when you look it up or whatever. But it means home, inheritance, property, family, responsibilities, and universal truths. So that is the rune of the month for March. Now, I have been reading this book and I recommended it to you guys when I made the first video of the year. I'm taking it off the recommendation shelf and not to read, but I'm taking it away. Like, I'm not going to recommend this book because I am on page, let me see here. I'm on page 109. Okay. This book has seriously pissed me off. Okay. I am in the Satru part of it though, because they have sections like Satru is in the beginning of it, and then there's Norse paganism, towards the back. So I'm hoping that once this author gets to the Norse paganism side, that they start doing better. Because it's not historically accurate. Okay, and that's what's pissing me off. Like, why are you writing this 400 something page book when it's not historically accurate? Like, you're giving false information to people. You know what I mean? Like, that's what pisses me off. And I'm going to give an example here. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Idun. Another popular Norse goddess known for her magic tricks and prophecies was Idun. She was Bragi's wife and the goddess of rejuvenation. Many gods sought her for the magical apples she possessed, as they were believed to make them look younger and more youthful. The gods and creatures who ate the apples became immortal. With the help of Thazi, the giant, Loki seized the apples of youth. Okay, pay attention to the wording in this sentence. This is what pisses me off. With the help of Thazi, the giant, Loki seized the apples of youth from Idun and transported them to the giants. Pay attention to the next sentence. As Idun and the other gods failed to find the apples in time, the gods started turning old. While Idun did not possess any magical skills herself, she was known as the rejuvenation goddess because of her magical apples. Now, in the next paragraph, she talks about Loki, and I want you to pay attention, okay? Loki was well known for his ability to transform into any shape he desired. He could also change genders, and he frequently disguised himself as a woman to deceive the gods. He used his magical abilities for amusement and malicious purposes. Star that sentence I just said. When Loki was caught by Thazi retrieving the apples of youth from Idun, he transformed into a falcon and flew Idun to the giant. In the end, Loki saved Idun by transporting her to the gods' hall when they lit a fire to burn and kill Thazi. Just like that, Loki would use his magic to aid the gods, especially when he was the one who created the problem. Remember that sentence I told you to star? That sentence I just read, that's why. No one could give Loki a proper name because he was the offspring of a god and a giant. He wasn't really a god or a giant. However, there have been several debates over the years concerning his moniker and magical abilities with no clear resolution. As a Lokian, that pisses me off. Like, oh my god. So with this book, I'm not trying to piss anybody off or anything like that, but I really do feel like there's a lack of details and I don't know what's going on. Like, if I first read this book as a beginning pagan or whatever, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, what is she talking about? There's no details. Like, who are these people? Why did Loki steal the apples? Things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I need those details. And other people need those details. But I'm going to go back. So, let's see. With the help of Dazi, the giant. He was an eagle in this story. Okay. Yes, he is a giant, but in this story, he is an eagle. I think we've already talked about this in my research and writing and things like that. Loki seized the apples of youth from Idun. That's incorrect. He actually brought Idun with him because Thazi wanted her for his own. And transported them to the giants. He did not transport them to the giants. He gave them to Thazi. So, as Idun and the other gods failed to find the apples in time, the gods started to grow, or started turning old. Yes, the gods did turn old. They were, suffering because the apples were gone. But Idun did not try to help them find them because she was with the apples with Thazi. So, let's see. Loki, yes, he did transform in many shapes and genders, and even into a mare that became pregnant. Let's see. And no, he did not frequently. Well, I guess you could say he did frequently change into a female. But he was male in a lot of his disguises as well. So it wasn't really, it's kind of like a balance, I guess. Let's see. He used his magical abilities for amusement and malicious purposes. He did not, yes, he is the trickster god. But most of the time he was just playing tricks on people. He wasn't like trying to be malicious or anything like that. And a lot of times he was calling people out on their bullshit. So, let's see. When Loki was caught by Thazi retrieving the apples of youth from Idun, he did not get caught. Thazi asked him to get the apples for him. So he did not get caught. He transformed into a falcon and flew Idun to the giant. He did not transform into a falcon to, take Idun to the giant. She was already there with Thazi. So Loki transformed into a falcon because of Freya's cloak, or whatever you want to call it, to go get Idun and the apples from Thazi. So, yes, Loki did save her. He turned her into a nut, I guess like an acorn or whatever, and brought her back to the gods, which the gods lit a fire and burned Thazi. Let's see, Loki used his magic to aid the gods, especially when he created problems. Yes, that did happen quite a bit. But, okay, another thing, I'm gonna get off this rabbit, or quit chasing this rabbit. She also makes certain gods and goddesses out to be like they're scary. I don't like that. Especially with Hel. Like, Hel is not a scary goddess. Unless you piss her off. Then, okay, it's game on. But, she talks about people going to hell as if it's the Christianity hell. Like, people go to hell to suffer, okay? There are sections of hell, okay? The Norse pagan hell. So yes, there is a place where people go and suffer because they're either a rapist, murderer, or oath breakers, whatever. They go to a very cold, dark place where they suffer for the rest of their life because they deserve that. Um, that's just my opinion, though. Then there's another section where there's like the elderly and, people with illnesses that can't go to battle. Because what happens is when, when someone passes, Odin gets his choice first. Like, he's prepping them for the Battle of Ragnarok. Um, Whoever he doesn't choose, Freya goes and chooses who she wants. And if people are old or sick or wounded or whatever, then they go to a special spot in hell. So the elderly and people with illnesses have a special spot. And people who are wounded and cannot battle have a special place too. Even children have a special place in hell. And they all get taken care of by Hel and her guardians. So Hel is not a bad person or a bad goddess. She's not scary. She's not a bitch. She's not none of that, right? This author makes her kind of to be scary. And then she refers to Odin as king. Sorry, but he's not a king. Yes, he is the Allfather. He is the leader of the Aesir tribe, right? Or the head of the tribe, however you want to say it. But he is not a king. Sorry, but I want to say there's something else too that kind of stuck out like that. But so far, I'm not digging this book. I'm hoping it gets better. I am going to finish it because I want to see what it is about. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, let me go back. Chapter 7, Mythological Creatures in Norse Paganism. There's a few gods and goddesses in here that should not be in the mythological creature section. Like the Norns. The Norns are goddesses that weave the fate of, all humankind. They should not be in the mythological creature section. Let's see, there's another one. I'm flipping through these pages here. There's a story about the Midgard serpent and Thor that she mentions. And I don't know if you guys know this story, but when Thor goes fishing to try to catch the Midgard serpent, he uses an ox head as bait. And of course, he gets the Midgard serpent on the hook, however you want to say it. And in this book, she says that Thor kills him in this story. I'm not going to chase that rabbit. I'm not going to chase it. But you get what I mean. Hel is not a mythological creature. She is a goddess. Valkyries are not mythological creatures. Let's see. I want to say there was another one I seen in here, and I'm like, seriously. Let's see here. Oh, I guess that's it. But yeah, those are some things that just really stuck out to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? I should really start doing book reviews, because I'm a little too honest about stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was super interested in reading this, but 109 pages in, and I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, anyways, after chasing that rabbit for like almost 15 minutes, let's get to my research and my writings. I feel like I really got into that there for a minute. But I'm not trying to offend anybody at all. I'm really not. I'm just too honest for my own good. I want people to have accurate information that's historically accurate, because people need to know the truth. People need to know, hey, this isn't facts. So, anyways, if you want like actual facts and information and things like that, watch Jackson Crawford. He is, a professor in this stuff. Like, he knows all about it. He knows it. He knows like pronunciations and things like that. Um, I know that I'm kind of like, giving you bits and pieces and basic information, but I'm giving you facts, and if I don't have something, accurate or factual or whatever, I correct myself. So, anyway, I'm going to quit chasing that rabbit and get to my thing. So, we have Nerthus. Nerthus is associated with peace, prosperity, and fertility. Her worship centered on a temple in a sacred grove on an island in the Baltic Sea. She enjoyed coming among her people, riding in a chariot pulled by cows. Her presence was known by her priest, you could probably say Godi. And while she was with her people, they lived in peace with no war or fighting and much rejoicing. They usually had a big feast when she would come to town, so to speak, big party. When she returned to her temple, she and her chariot were washed in a sacred lake by slaves who were then drowned in the lake afterwards. Wow, I would not want that job. She would visit often at times when peace was in jeopardy or a break in violence was needed, and leave when she had restored calm among the people. She is not Asir or Vanir, and there is no rune association mentioned. So there is some mention of her kind of being like on the Christianity side of things, or kind of like when pagans were being forced to switch to Christianity during that time. So I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there if that's something that you're interested in. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one is Irpa. So, or Irpa, my bad. Totally read that wrong. Irpa is associated with travel or journeying, especially since her name means to wander. It seems there are many tales of her and her sister of war, them giving advice or counsel, and many people giving them offerings. The tales speak of their beauty and how everyone knew that they were goddesses. There isn't much information about her, but we do know that she is not Vanir or Asir, and there is no rune association. So, let's see, I'm going to take these down for the next two. Alright, so the next one is Mani. He's pretty important. So, Mani is the god of the moon, driving a chariot across the sky pulled by horses. He's also the god of time, like his sister and father. He is chased by the wolf Hati, who will catch up to him and devour the moon at Ragnarok. He is also called Man in the Moon, and he is part of the Asir tribe. He is accompanied by a girl named Bill and a boy named Huki, both carrying pails of water. Bill's name means to decrease or lessen, pouring out water. Can you tell what she's watching? Huki is increase, filling up his pails with water. So together they symbolize the waning and waxing of the moon and its connection to tidal bodies of water. Tidal body, yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute. His main role is His main role is helping humankind to tell the time and date, to prepare for the growing season, and also to determine the most auspicious times for other human affairs, as a sort of influence of fate. The phases of the moon are said to represent his endless swerving from the wolf who chases him. He's also associated with Satyr, or witchcraft. It's like magic and stuff like that. Curses, blessings, and many inscriptions on stones and at graves to invoke his protection for the living and the dead, and ask for his assistance in fortune telling. His rune association is Manaz. 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 Okay, so last one. We have Balder. So Balder, his name means white or bold, is the god of light, beauty, and purity. He is the son of Odin and Frigg and twin brother of Hodir, the god of darkness. He is friendly, gentle, and is loved by many. He is peaceful, beautiful, wise, and is known for justice. Balder is thought to be invulnerable except when it comes to mistletoe. There's a story where Loki tricks Hodir into shooting Balder with a mistletoe spear, which kills him. So when Balder began to have dreams of his death, Frigg went around to everything in the world and secured from each of them an oath to not harm her son. The gods amused themselves by throwing weapons and random things to test his invincibility, leaving him unharmed as everything bounced off of him. Loki asked Frigg if she had forgotten anything in the oaths, and she said that she thought mistletoe was too small to do any harm. That's when Loki made a mistletoe spear and put blind Hodir up to throwing it at Balder, which killed him. Hermod, another one of Odin's sons, traveled to speak to Hel in the underworld to retrieve Balder. Hermod pleaded to release Balder, which Hel agreed that if, and only if, everything in the world would weep for Balder to prove that he was as universally beloved as Hermod claimed. The whole world did weep for him, except the giantess Thok, which means thanks, which is actually Loki in disguise. So he callously refused to weep, which would secure Balder's return. So with that, Balder was doomed to remain with Hel. Balder is an Aesir god, and his rune is Dagaz. So that is all that I have for you today. Hopefully someone enjoyed this. Definitely don't read that book. I will keep reading it. If it gets better, I'll be like, hey, read from page here to here. But yeah, so far no. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video for the new moon reading and the astrological events for the month of March. I hope to see you then. Blessed be.